Unite. Community Unite is a series of small YouTuber panels, so it's talking about the things you would see on any other panel, but it's from the smaller YouTuber perspective, specifically to give people, like you see here, and yourselves, the opportunity to talk about the thing that you love, whether that's creating on YouTube or any other platform, and realizing that you are valued and your experience is valued. So you should never put that down. I'm glad everyone is here today. This is the Beat the Burnout panel. I hope everyone read my really great description in the booklet. There was a pun. It's fine. You can read it later. So yeah. Welcome, and I'll be around afterwards, so if anyone has any questions about Community Night in the future. It is a total application process, so we don't pick people based on if we know them or if they have a lot of subscribers. We pick people based on an application that looks at answers to questions as well as video content and how they come off as a person. Are you going to be able to talk on a panel in front of people? So it's a very transparent and bottom up sort of experience. So with that, I will pass over to our moderator and we can begin.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Thanks for coming out. I want to introduce myself. I'm Boronski. Moderating this panel. Super happy to moderate this panel and finding out what the topic was from Mary, Beat the Burnout, how creators deal with creator burnout. Super relevant topic and important topic, so I'm happy we get to talk about that today. I run a YouTube channel where I sit down and interview celebrities. Also worked on a couple television shows, Atlanta on FX, season 2, and right now the upcoming 3rd season of Netflix's Stranger Things. So that's a little bit about me, and we got 5 amazing panelists, and they'll introduce themselves and their YouTube channel.
Hi, my name's Loren, and I'm mainly actually a TikToker, but I do YouTube on the side as well as Instagram, and that's it.
Hello everyone, I am Vlogger. What is up? We got the Vloggy fam over here. We're actually streaming live on Twitch. I've been on YouTube for about 3 years now, and I've been pretty big on Twitch for about 1 year. Twitch is growing a lot. I'm kind of switching over to Twitch a little bit, but still showing some love to YouTube always. And I do a little bit of everything on my channel. I vlog, I do funny skits, music videos. I've dabbled in pretty much everything, so that's me.
My name is Julian. I go by Jada Kid on YouTube. I'm mainly a gamer. I like to play NBA 2K. Sometimes I'll go and play some scary games if people want to see me lose my mind, but other than that, I live stream every night around 11-ish. I try to stay consistent as possible. So I've done about 235 days straight. It's been crazy, so it's been a lot of fun.
My name is Michaela. My channel is Queen Kayla. And over on my channel, I just do lifestyle videos. I vlog, different things like that. And I've been on YouTube for about 4 years now. And I also do Instagram, sometimes sponsorships and stuff, so.
I'm nervous. I'm Kelsey. My YouTube channel goes by itskelseyelise. I've been obsessed with YouTube for a while, but I've only had my channel for a couple months, and I do everything. I mostly do reaction videos, so basically getting shook up with cute boys. Nothing more than I do off camera. But yeah, like and subscribe.
I love it. Again, I'm just happy that there's an event like Play This Live where we get to do these type of panels and talk about topics like this, and really just take 3 days to talk about something we're all passionate about in this room, and that's social media and creating, and talk about a topic like this that I said is relevant. I want to open up the floor to you guys first for this first question. Anyone that wants to answer. It's not like burnout is a new concept, and we've seen bigger creators now talk about it more, like Elle Mills, if you guys follow her. She's talked about her struggles with burnout. Why do you think it's a more open topic now to talk about people's burnout?
Okay, I think it has to do with the creator wanting things to be more authentic and real, and sharing more about their life and more of the content creating process, I guess, because for a while it was, you would see this influencer, this creator, and everything seemed perfect. Their lives seemed perfect, the content they created was perfect, and as time has gone by, I think they want to create more of a deeper connection and address important topics like burnout, which is something that we all, I feel, have dealt with at some point, and I just really think people are trying to open it and be more authentic about it.
Oh, are we going in order? All
Yeah,
right, I'll go next. I'm actually going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to say that it's more of just like a trending topic, I feel like. I feel like a lot of creators recently, because like they said, it's something that everybody deals with, not just creators. And if you're feeling burned out or tired, like you can just take a break, not upload for a day. He said he's been streaming every day, But every now and then, if he has to take a break, like, he'll take a break. He doesn't have to go on there and say, I'm burned out, I need to take a break, I don't know when I'm coming back. So I think recently, and why creators have been speaking out about it, is more just because it's kind of just trending right now, and they're using it as clickbait. That's what I think. That's my own takeaway, I feel like. And I'm not saying it's not a real thing. It's definitely a real thing, but when you're making videos about it and posting about it, and he mentioned Elle of the Mills, she's a new creator, and she's already burned out. So it's, again, like, I just feel like recently we've seen a lot of influx on that. Lily Singh took a break. Who else?
Grace Helbig did.
Grace Helbig, yeah. And a great example, Shane Dawson just took like a 3-month, 4 or 5-month break after he did his video series. But you didn't see him make like a burnout video, like, I'm burned out, guy. He just tweeted, and he's like, all right, don't expect a video after all, those 3 2-hour-long videos. I'll see you guys in a couple months. So that's just my takeaway. I just think it's kind of a trending topic right now. I think it's what's hot, is to be burned out.
Well,
That's just me.
I agree, it could be a trending topic, but I also think that creators also have become it's more accessible now these days to actually say that you're like a YouTuber or like you're a creator, whereas like in the past, it was like you would say, oh, I do YouTube, and people would kind of look at you funny. But now these days, like, you could say you're a YouTuber, you're an Instagram star, you're on Twitter, and people will actually like accept that and say, oh, okay, cool, But and with that being said, when you create a lot of content, you can't get burned out easily, and people understand. So I think if you do need to take a break, you should. But yeah, I don't think you need to make a video about it. I think it's like a trending topic.
I feel like creators talking about it more because I know also from experience, if I don't upload because I upload every Saturday pretty much, so if I miss a few Saturdays in a row, subscribers are like, okay, where's the video? So I feel like a lot of YouTubers are speaking out about it, trying to let their subscribers know that they're kind of like in a funk, like they're burned out, pretty much, like they don't have any more ideas, they don't feel like editing, they don't feel like filming. I feel like that sometimes, I don't really want to edit. So I just either post on Instagram or Twitter, and I'm like, hey, no video because I don't have an idea. If you want to suggest an idea, go ahead. But I just feel like they're talking about it more because, not that they're being harassed, but like their subscribers are just questioning like why aren't they posting like they usually do.
I just feel like YouTube has become such like more intense every year. Like, these YouTubers have been on YouTube for so long, so I just feel like they're tired. Like, there's so many trends, so many things that they can do, but they don't know like what to do, and they've done so much. So I think they're, like you said, burned out just because like their brain is really burned out because they have no idea what to do. So many more people are following them every day. It's like very stressful, and even though I'm new, like it's really hard coming up with like different topics and just creating content that you think people would want to watch, but I think it's more about what you would want to watch. So I just think it's like a mindset that people need to get, that it's more about what you want and not what you think people want.
Most definitely. Vlogger, I want to go to you for a second because I want to elaborate on your point, because you talked about taking a break for a creator and how you think it's, maybe you don't need to make a video. A tweet's good enough.
I
you elab-
take a break all the time. I'm on break right now.
We all are, right?
Yeah.
Next 3 days are all on break, but
Yeah.
can you elaborate on maybe pros and cons you feel with taking a break as a creator, and then the other panels can build from that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to take a break, obviously for your mental health, which is also another huge, I feel like, trending topic. You know, more people are talking about their mental health and depression and whatever else they might be going through. So it's great to take a break. It also helps to, in my opinion, spark creativity, you know, like how she was saying, sometimes you might be in a funk, or you might be having, you know, writer's block or creative block where you don't have an idea. And taking a break can help with that, you know, and getting back to your life and your family and doing other things, you know, to get your mind off of YouTube and social media will help to spark ideas, again, in my opinion. I got a video idea last night when I was trying to sleep and someone in the room was snoring. I was like, video idea. But cons of taking a break, and I have seen this with my own channel, is, and she touched on it as well, is sometimes your viewers, they go missing too. You go missing as a creator, your viewers go missing as well. So if you're consistently updating videos, and putting up content, and then all of a sudden, even if you tell them I'm taking a break, or if you don't tell them, and you come back a week later, a month later, you know, your viewership is down by like 50% or more. I've seen it. So there are pros, there are cons. Consistency is key, but consistency doesn't necessarily mean you have to upload every single day. You know, perfect example, Jenna Marble. She's one of my favorites. She's like the #1 biggest female creator on the platform, and she's one of the oldest ones, and she uploads literally once a week, and each of her videos will bring in 10, 20 million views. So, but it's consistent. So even though she's not uploading every single day, she uploads every Wednesday/Thursday. So those are pros and cons. Just, you know, if you leave, your viewers might leave too. So there is some pressure because of that as well.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Your engagement can be really lower as a con. And also as well, it really depends sometimes on what kind of break you're taking, because I feel like sometimes you can come back ignited with ideas, so creatively driven. You can have, like, it can really be helpful, but sometimes for me I feel if I take too long of a break, I feel like my creativity kind of switches a little bit. And sometimes I would be, like, comedies, for example. I do a lot of comedy, like little short skits and such. If I take too long of a break, I feel like my ideas aren't as good, because creativity is kind of like a muscle, I feel like. So if you stop creating, you kind of get out of that sort of mindset of creating content. So it can be kind of hard sometimes, so that could be a con. But then again, if you do take a very productive sort of break where you're trying to inspire yourself and motivate yourself more and just try to help yourself, really, it can be really helpful and really good for you.
I'm glad you said that, because I actually wrote that down, is that if you take a break, like sometimes you end up getting lazy. And
Yes.
it's kind of like when you're going to the gym, you know, like if you go to the gym every day and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't feel like it, and then you come off of that routine, you
It's like
kind
a
of start to
habit.
get lazy.
It's literally
Yeah,
a habit
yeah.
you're breaking. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another con of taking a break.
I think for me, with since I do like live stream every day, I want to, part of doing it, I want to make sure I'm constantly in people's faces. People are constantly seeing me, because again, when you do take that break, people will forget about you. I think on the internet, it's because we have such a, like, I don't know, like, people on the internet, they say have a short attention span, but when you, like, disappear for too long, they leave you. So I'd like to try to plan my content more. So, like, for my streams are more routine for me. They're like a routine type of thing, but then I'll make a video every now and again, and that would be like an idea I thought of longer, and I worked on longer. I planned everything out, so that way I know, okay, this is kind of going to be like the video I try to, shoot for the stars with, whereas my streams are just for the subscribers I already have, who already know who I am.
I feel like the big pro is you're taking a break. That's great. Everyone loves breaks. But like a con is like, like everyone said, if your subscriber count can go down. Once you do come back from that break, if you're busting like 1,000 views video, your video from your break may get like 400, and you're like, okay, what happened? Another con is as you're taking that break, your mind is still like on the YouTube or like creating thing. So yeah, you're taking a break, but also you're still kind of like working because you're still thinking of video ideas like you're on a break, but you're still thinking like, ooh, maybe I could film this when I get off of my break. But like, so it's like you're on a break, but also you're not.
Y'all said everything I was gonna say, so.
That's good. And I think something interesting with the idea of taking a break, it almost relates to the question that's always asked about work-life balance, right? Like, how do you balance work-life balance? Take my man Jay here, for example, a guy that uploads every day. I was talking to him like before this panel started, and I can tell he's a passionate creator. And that's just what he likes to do in his free time. Like, he likes creating. So some people might think, oh, posting every day, like I'd be burnt out in a second, but that's what he likes doing. That's what makes him happy. So he's self-aware about that. And I think that's something you gotta realize too. You know yourself the best. No one knows you better than you. What can you handle? What can you do? So just kind of elaborate on that for you guys. Maybe Luann, you can start, but how important is self-awareness in the creative game?
It's really important, especially since I feel like social media and your life can get really intertwined into one. It can really, you need to find a balance, and being aware of it is really important, because if you're not aware of it, you can't fix it, you can't be able to solve like kind of the issues that you have. So I think it's really important.
And part of being self-aware is also creating content that you love. Like he was saying, you know, if it's something that you're passionate about, that you love to do, it's hard to get burned out because you're enjoying it. So exactly like he's streaming. Are you streaming on YouTube or?
Yeah.
You're on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I do video game streaming as well on Twitch. And I mean, that's something that I love to do. You know, at the end of the day, I do work. I have a full-time job. Unlike these other famous YouTubers that are getting burned out when this is their only job, you know. The rest of us have school and work, you know, and then after that, on top of that, then we have to think about content and video editing and uploading and marketing, because marketing is a huge thing about it, you know, is constantly staying on social media and putting your video out there. But doing content that you love, something that you love. So even at the end of the day, you know, I'm tired, but I'll get home and I'll turn on my PlayStation and I'll stream straight from my PlayStation, and I'm playing and having a good time, talking to the vlogging fam on Twitch, and you know, it's fun. You know, it's not something that I feel burned out about. So. And when you have a following that respects you and really does love you because you've created this community, they tend to understand it, you know, because sometimes I get off of work and I'm like, they're already like contacting me on Twitter and on Twitch, and they're just like, what time to stream? Oh, I'm tired tonight, guys, sorry, no streaming. They understand, you know, and they're like, okay, we'll see you tomorrow. So, work-life balance.
For sure. I'm the same way. Like, I have a 40-hour work week, so like I come home after my job and I go straight to streaming. And sometimes, like, when you are tired, it comes across in your videos and your content. So you have to make sure you're very self-aware and you know your limits, because people can tell, and when people sense that, sometimes they don't enjoy the videos, because if you're not putting your all into your content, people definitely won't enjoy, and they can sense it. So you also want to make sure too that, like, as a smaller creator, when you're putting your content out, everything is a new opportunity for people to see. So you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward every time. And that's very important.
He literally just said this. I was going to say, self-awareness is knowing your limits. So if you know, like, if some YouTuber posts like 3 times a week and you know you cannot post 3 times a week, I wouldn't try it. Because then you'd definitely be burned out. You'll be like, you're stressed, like, oh, I gotta post. And like me, I have school. So I'm up from 5 o'clock until like 5 or 5. And then so, like I said, I upload on Saturdays. So some days I film and edit a whole video on Friday. So I'm up till like 3, 4 in the morning trying to get it all ready. So it's just, you have to know how much you can and can't do. And so, like, don't stress yourself out over it. If you know you can only post once a week, just post once a week.
Good job, girl. You say that.
Like Luann said, I think it's really important to come up with a core balance, because, like, I'm pretty sure everyone here, I have a full-time job, so that's very stressful. And obviously making content and coming up with content is very stressful. So if you can't post a video, like your viewers will understand. Don't stress out about it. And yeah, just be you. And like you said though, like if your content's not genuine, your viewers will know. Like if you're not having fun, if you're not happy off camera, your viewers can tell that you're not happy on camera. So it's very important to be self-aware. Just happy guys.
I love it. You know, we've talked a lot about how to avoid the burnout during the creative process, but is there anything you could do maybe, I guess, outside the creative process to avoid the burnout? Because this might sound like an obvious answer, but I think people really underestimate the power of sleep. Like, sleep is going to win every single day. You don't got to be like the hustler, in my opinion, that I only sleep 4 hours a day because I was working all day. I was like, no, like, you need those 7 or 8 hours, or you're going to be dead exhausted the next day, and, that process. So, I don't know, anything you can do outside, like prepare yourself to avoid that burnout before getting into your creative space.
I think you should keep your try to stay as much in your happy place as possible. Like do things to like that you enjoy. On a daily basis. Like you know you're about to make your favorite video that you're about to make. Have your favorite lunch before you make the video, or listen to your favorite music before you start recording. Something like that. Just get yourself in the mindset to start creating.
I agree with you. Find something that will make you get in mindset for something. Something I do is actually go on a walk every morning. I go at like 6 a.m. for sunrise, and that really clears my mind, helps me like kind of get in that creative mindset to be able to create the content and kind of like fill me with happiness for the rest of the day. So you just have to kind of figure out what works for you, really. Because everyone, I'm sure, has like a different technique, a different happy spot to like where they're the most creative at.
Basically, like, do things. I think it's important to separate, and I think a lot of creators have a problem with that, with separating social media, content, YouTube, Twitter, like all of that with social media, YouTube, and like their personal life. So, like for example, like right now we're at Playlist Live, which is all social media, all content, and even my mom is here. Mama Vlogger is here with me, her first year, so everyone say hi to Mama Vlogger. But even she was saying, she's like, you haven't really been like vlogging or doing much, and I already have like, it's my 4th year here at Playlist, and every year I do want my vlog to be different and distinct from the previous year. I don't want to keep uploading the same vlog every year. So I already kind of had a predetermined thing of kind of what my vlog was going to be like, and I was just talking to Haley about that as well. Was like in previous years it was more like montage of just me recording everything and all the action that's going on, but this year I decided I actually wanted to do more personal, where I was more talking and more on camera. So I've been doing that, and literally that's something that takes like less than 5 minutes, where I just turn on the camera, I talk to the camera, talk to the vlogging fam. And then the rest of the 23 hours and 55 minutes, I'm actually enjoying. I'm present and enjoying the moment. So I think being present for yourself and not just, constantly thinking content is really important as well. So being able to separate those two.
I have like a routine. Like I take my dog out for a walk and I leave my phone at home, because even something as simple as Twitter, Instagram, like it could set you off in some way. So I see it as like being hungry, basically. Like as I'm doing all this stuff that makes me happy in my personal life, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to get home and edit. Like I can't wait to film this video. So I just think balance is like a really big key.
And that's a good point, because if you're eating all the time, then you're not hungry.
Exactly.
So
like you're
being
full.
able to turn it,
That's how I see it.
And one thing I just want to add to that real quick, something I do is I like to make kind of like small goals for yourself and things to check off. Like I'm a big believer in that. Just give yourself little self-rewards to help keep yourself motivated, because like things do pile up and everyone's got a life. None of us are at a point like you said, you guys work, you have school, whatever. No one here right now does YouTube or social media full time. So there's a lot of things you gotta a lot of things you gotta do on the agenda, so giving yourself those little self-rewards, I think, is always a good thing. Vlogger, I just want to ask you a question, it's kind of off topic, but you are doing a Twitch stream right now. Anything you've seen different between doing your YouTube work and now doing Twitch? Anything you've seen in those two spaces, how
Yes.
that process is
And
done?
my Twitch community knows it, and you know I kind of want to keep it away from my YouTube community, but they kind of know it too. I feel like Twitch, it's smaller, it's a smaller community, so I just feel like Twitch as a platform just treats their creators better than YouTube is right now. You know, everybody's frustrated with YouTube and everything that's going on with YouTube, so I just feel like there's kind of more love on Twitch, as well as, I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago, I feel like even when you're live streaming, like there's just more trolls on YouTube than there are on Twitch. Like you get a lot of weird randos on YouTube, and on Twitch, it's not that bad. So I mean I'm new to Twitch, like I said, and it just started like blowing up like right now. Like I've made affiliate, so I'm an affiliate. I couldn't even tell you right now, maybe close to 400, maybe 500 followers at the moment. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm really getting into it, and I started as gaming, but I'm also moving. I recently just got banned by YouTube actually for streaming for 3 months. It was because I streamed the Grammys, so copyright content. I was expecting a strike, you know, everyone knows the strike rule, right? So I was expecting a strike, but they just totally, and I have 0 strikes, the account is in great standing, but they sent me an email, they're like, you can't stream for 3 months. And I'm like, oh great, you know? So, but it was kind of a blessing because then it forced me to stream more on Twitch, and now I'm doing more just chatting and in real life streams, which right now I'm streaming. And they really seem to enjoy that. So, I mean, I would actually recommend for people to try, and especially you, you're gaming, you know, to try like different platforms. TikTok is huge right now, so put, you know, sow your seeds in different platforms. Don't just stay on YouTube. It's very important, and you see that a lot of creators are doing that, even big YouTubers, you know, and especially with the climate on YouTube right now that it's kind of uncertain. It's good to kind of explore different platforms.
Most definitely. Lorraine, I want to ask you specifically about your work and your channel, because you mentioned at the beginning you do a lot of comedy videos. Can you speak about, because there's a lot of preparation for that, shooting the video, editing. For you specifically, what's the hardest process, or what comes easy to you? I want to know a little bit more about your process.
Okay, so it really depends depending on the content I'm making, because I do make a lot of comedies. I also, one of my favorite things to do is travel vlogs, because I love to travel. So depending what kind of content I'm making, I take different strategies, but I'm a very organized person, so I write everything down, every single step, which can be really good and really bad, because sometimes when it doesn't go how you exactly planned it, it can be kind of discouraging. But for example, for comedies, sometimes you get the ideas at the randomest times. You may be taking a shower, you may be asleep at 1 a.m. in the morning, you wake up and you're like, oh, that's an idea. Or sometimes you're having conversations with friends, and you're like, wait, that could be a video. And then from there, my best tip is write it down, because you'll forget it. No matter how good you think your memory is, you'll forget it. So I write it down, then from there, depending what it is, I kind of see the way of action for it. So TikTok is 15 seconds, which is funny because it may seem like a short little video, but sometimes I spend 3 to 4 hours editing a 15-second video, which is kind of something that people don't always realize. And then for YouTube, for example, it depends. I've been trying to do a lot of vlogs, but even those take a long time because you're kind of like overthinking. You're like, oh, what am I going to film next? Like, what's the next thing that's happening on my day? So it kind of depends the content you're going for at the time.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know for me, editing is definitely the hardest challenge for me. Something I'm, trying to get better at. I was definitely an iMovie person like a year ago. Now I know how to use Premiere Pro, so it's getting better. But right now, like we all wear all the hats, right? You're the content creator. You're thinking of the ideas. You're the editor. You're marketing yourself.
As a small creator, you're everything. You don't have a team. You don't have a manager. You're getting your own jobs almost. You're working as a lawyer for yourself because you're reading the contracts. You're basically your entire team is yourself, which can be a lot of work.
It's a challenge for sure. Mikhail, I want to ask you at the end over there, we all struggle with maybe not seeing success right away. That's something any small creator deals with. How have you handled, or seen other people handle maybe not seeing success?
So it's just, I don't really look at the numbers anymore. I used to be like, oh, how many views, how many subscribers, how many likes, and things like that. When I would get one thumbs down, it was over. But like now, like I don't really care. Like people just thumbs it down for no reason. So my thing is, I just don't look at the numbers anymore. Yeah, sure, there may be someone, their first video ever may get like 2 million views, and then they're like blowing up. And I'm like, I've been here for 4 years, and I'm still like at 700. I'm just like, I'm me, these are my videos, I love them, other people love them too, which is really cool. So my biggest thing is I just don't look at the numbers.
I want to follow up on that because I think I've listened to a lot of these panels throughout a couple of years doing these playlist lives, and people do talk about try not to look at the numbers, try not. How difficult is it though, and easier said than done, right?
For sure. I have the YouTube Studio app, and so you go on it, and you can see like your views or like your subscriber count, whether it's going up or down. And I'm like, oh wow.
There's literally like charts and graphs.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm in the red. And I'm like, but, that's okay. Like sometimes I used to be like, what am I doing wrong? Like I'm literally slaving away trying to post these videos, but I don't know. It's hard, yes. Especially when you see other people doing better than you when they're brand new, that can really get to you, right? But just try to stay yourself. Like if you see someone editing a certain type of way or like filming certain videos that get a lot of views, like don't try to copy that, because like people like them for them. So if you do the same thing, people may not like it as much when you do it. So yeah, just like stay true to you, and the subscribers and the views will come. Whether you be on YouTube for 10 years before you hit your big break, you'll get it one day. So I just stay like optimistic, and I'm ready for that big break one day.
It's ready for you too.
Kelsey, I want to ask you. You talked about earlier that sometimes before maybe creating a video, you'll take your phone away. You won't look at your phone for a little bit. Has anyone here, maybe Kelsey, you can start, but anyone here on this panel done like a full social media cleanse? Like no YouTube, no Instagram, no Twitter, nothing for like a day, 2 days, a week? I've seen like YouTube videos like people maybe it's like a challenge or trend, but like people like go without a week without looking at social media, and then they'll document what that's been like for them.
I go on a lot of trips, like to concerts and stuff, so I try my hardest to spend more time with my friends, and like I said, like get the hunger back to get home and edit. And social media is just, no offense, it's an evil world. Like, as much positivity there is, there's still negativity. So I try to keep away from that, and shout out to my friends because they're literally like my motivation to stay off of social media, because I just love spending time with them, and they're like my happy place. So yeah, it's hard to stay off of social media. Like our phones are our like children. So, but all you gotta do is put it down.
Yeah, for me it's weird because most of my friends, I move a lot, so most of my friends actually live very far away from me. So it's kind of hard because talking to them, I have to talk to them through the phone because they live so far away. So it's kind of hard to take a break. Almost every break I've taken is almost unintentional. Like I just took a road trip from down in Cabo all the way to California, and there's no service like for 3 days. So it's kind of like you have to take the break, you're forced to it. But aside from being sick and such, I haven't really taken a break on purpose. But
Yeah, I'm gonna say no too. I mean, it sounds great, and I wish I could be a little bit more like that. That would probably help with burnout, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little addicted, and I feel it's kind of like staying relevant. Like I always feel like if I go missing on all platforms, they'd be like, well, where'd she go? And I'd come back and they'd be like, no. So no, I'll think about it maybe, but no.
Like you said, it's like a cleanse.
Like the most I've ever been off is probably literally 24 hours, and that's probably because I was legitimately burned out and was just like, phone's staying over there, I'm staying in bed for 24 hours, you know, or I've been sick or something. But yeah.
I feel like not everyone needs to take a break sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just still have like that little fire in you that's like doing perfectly fine. So
Yeah.
it's like there's
I'm
no
just like, even just one tweet. If I can't do a video, if I can't do something, at least send a tweet to let them know that I'm here working on something to keep the hype going. Hey guys, I'm working on this. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I feel like YouTube is like about having like a relationship. Well, not just YouTube, but
Exactly.
social media is about having a relationship with your subscribers.
Mhm.
And when you're online like that, you know, you want to keep that relationship going and keep it fresh. So the best thing to do is just, you know, I don't know.
That's a beautiful metaphor. It's like watering a plant.
Right,
It
exactly,
keeps
exactly. I don't think I
yeah.
could stay away from it. It's tough. That's hard.
Too addicted to. I don't think I can do intentional.
That's true, right?
Yeah, to be honest here. Yeah. Well, I've only done unintentional breaks like you guys, but yeah, can't do intentional. Sorry, not doing that. I want to open up the floor to you guys. If you have any questions, take the time and bring up for our wonderful panelists that are here. But if anyone has any questions, whether it's burnout related or YouTube, social media related, anything, I'm happy to answer. So, anyone?
What tips do you guys have on marketing your channel? Marketing your channel? Business cards?
Yes, gotta have those.
Vistaprint? Come on now. You can get like 500 cards for
Yeah.
$9.99. A steal. Okay. Yeah, like business cards, social media, you know, like, hey guys, I'm uploading a video this day at this time. People get excited about it. Even though a lot of people get embarrassed by this, but like at school, maybe like, hey, I see you're watching YouTube. You wanna check out my channel? Maybe they'll be like, oh, you have a channel? But like, they like it. They're like, oh, that's cool. So, yeah, just like business cards, uploading on like social media, telling people. Me, I have a hard time doing this myself, because it's like, it's kind of weird, like, I get a little embarrassed. When people like, oh, you use YouTube? You know? But I'm like, yeah, YouTube. So yeah, market yourself through social media, business cards, word of mouth.
I'm glad you asked that question. I'm huge on marketing. I'm like marketing guru, right? Because you do have to treat it like a business. And I think a really good tip, and I learned this, you know, this isn't my own wisdom, I learned this because I do a lot of research too, is think of yourself as a business and brand yourself. Yes, like branding is huge. So find something about yourself that you can use kind of like as a symbol or as something that when people see it, because you're always talking or posting about it, they're going to think of you. So my thing, Haley, do you know what my thing is? Hate to put you on the spot, but what's my thing?
The be strong.
Yeah, be stronger and Superman. My thing is Superman, yes. Superman, I've always been a fan of Superman, but I mean, I'm wearing Superman right now, you know, and on my, right here, you can see it on my card, my logos, I'm wearing a Superman hat, everything. Everybody knows on my channel that I love Superman. We always go into arguments about, you know, who's better, Superman or Batman. But literally, I will have people send me pictures. They'll be in the store, and they'll see like a Superman cup, and they'll send it to me. Oh, I was in the store, and I thought of you when I saw this. You know, that keeps them or that keeps you in their heads. You know, so find something, and it doesn't have to be, you know, a cartoon character or anything. It could be a color. It could be, because I'm not saying that yellow's her thing, but it looks good on you. But it could be a color. It could just be, you know, your banner on your page is just yellow, and you're bright and you're sunny and you're always like really positive and upbeat. And when people will see the color yellow, they'll just think of you, you know? So find something that you can use to market yourself and brand on all of your platforms. Tagline, if you notice, all big YouTubers, they open their videos the exact same way. They close their videos the exact same way. And that, again, that's part of that brand, their brand. So, and like she said, just social media and on everything. Twitter is huge. I've worked so hard to build my Twitter, and I'm still trying to build it, because you can have famous people retweet you on Twitter, you know? And if someone catches a hold of one of your videos or something that you put on there, it only takes one for you to go viral. So on all social medias, and again, just building that brand. that's mine.
So more on that too. With your brand, after you have your brand, try to stay in touch with trending topics. You know, make videos on trending topics, but I wouldn't just like do exactly what the trending topic is. Try to like be creative and like combine that with whatever your niche is, and put it together. And you know, you come up with something different. You may find that that's something that people really like and want to see more of, and that will get you exposed more.
And two things. Oh yeah, go ahead, Mary.
Well, I have questions. So
Okay, let me add to your question earlier with the marketing. I do really like what Nikayla said earlier with the business cards, because what business cards do, I don't think business cards are dead. You see a lot of our panels have their business cards out. Business cards are tangible, right? So if we give you our business card, sometime later today, or when you go back to the hotel later tonight, you're gonna pull it out of your pocket, right? You're gonna see the person's face, you're gonna see their socials again, and you'll definitely remember who that person is. So that's why I always think business cards are really good, no matter how big or small you are, to keep that network, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to network, we're all trying to grow a little bigger, right? And then another thing I would say when marketing, or how to keep growing like traction, pretty much, is like collabs, but like, I hate the word collab so much. Luckily what I do, since my YouTube channel is all about, I work with a lot of like celebrities and stuff, so athletes, actors, here at this event with the big YouTubers, I kind of approach it, you know, as an interview, and you can approach it still, even if you're not a quote-unquote professional journalist or reporter, you can still collab in a way where you treat it like an interview. Then you're kind of more of a professional sense, and they'd be more willing to collab with you, because essentially it is a collab, because you're kind of bringing value to them and you're helping them look good, and it's just a win-win situation. So really they're helping you out, and it is a collab for you, and they'll help you get traction by being associated with that bigger name, but you kind of do it in a professional sense by treating it as an interview. And you can post that interview anywhere, YouTube, podcast if you want to do audio format, quick Instagram, 60-second, 2-question answers, stuff like that. So I think that's a couple of ways you can keep, marketing yourself. And Jay talked about it, and Vlogger, still having that good personal brand. You got to develop your personal brand first, and then, once people do start seeing you and they know you're putting out good work, you keep growing, and people will know you in the community that you put out good stuff, and more people will find your stuff and hopefully continue to follow your work. So, anyone else want to touch on that before we move on to another question? Joanna, Kelsey, no? Any other questions? Yeah.
Oh, I have a question for Luann. I'm such a fan of your content. Like, everything that you do is so amazing. And my question for you is, so like you have TikTok and you have Instagram and then you have YouTube, and you post so constantly on all the apps, and everything that you do looks so good. So like my question is like how you manage your time, and then what specific struggles do you find in each platform to
Time management, something I'm still working on, because I am a perfectionist, so I take a very long time in everything, and I also, it's weird, I'm not a procrastinator, but I procrastinate on a weird level, and like a productive level almost, because it's really weird. Sometimes I'll procrastinate on Instagram by creating 20 TikToks instead, so it's kind of like finding the balance through it. It's staying constant and finding your rhythm, your pattern, what works for you, the times that work for you, when to post, when you can film. Setting kind of like a schedule for yourself. So like I have filming days for editing, and I just kind of try to stick to it, but also be flexible with it. And then, what was your question?
Oh, what is the biggest struggle for each platform? Like what do you find most difficult for TikTok, YouTube, and
That is really interesting. Probably it also has to do with, this is really hard. Okay, so in every platform you create different content. It's still all you, it's still all your personality, it's what you're passionate about, but it can be a little bit different every platform basically, because Instagram's pictures, TikTok's 15-second videos, YouTube is usually 5 to 10 minutes. So, YouTube, very long editing hours, a lot of editing. I think you can all agree on that. YouTube is a lot of work. Making a 6-minute video can take you a week to edit, so it's a lot of work. TikTok, you have to post every day. It's like constant every day. I used to post 3 videos a day, but that's kind of impossible, so it's just putting as much content out there as possible. Instagram, the feed, keeping a good feed, that's the hardest thing probably. I have a colorful scheme, so I'm trying to keep all the vibe, the same kind of vibe, the same color schemes, same patterns, same, just kind of trying to make it aesthetically pleasing, honestly. It can be a struggle. So it really depends, and it really depends with the kind of content you create also.
Thank you.
That's such a good question. It's a good point,
Either of
though.
you, any of you want to like join on that?
Yeah.
I actually want to say something real quick because I know for my interviews, when I promote like a new interview, I'll take like 15 seconds, like a good part from the interview, but you do have to treat it differently each platform. Instagram, I literally have to resize it on Premiere Pro to make it an Instagram story size to post that, make a new whole sequence size for Twitter, adjust it a little bit for Facebook. So it is. And then I look at my like desktop and I'm like, my iCloud's full because I just made like 4 or 5 different pieces of content, the same clip, and they all look a little different. But that's what you gotta do. Like you can't just give people the same content, you know, refurbish stuff. So good question, man. I like that. Anyone else want to touch on that before? All good? Mary, go ahead.
Sure. Okay, so something that I'm really interested in is the regulation of the new media industry. I think that, and that's why not only I really liked your devil advocate blogger. I think it was a really good point. But I also think that burnout and what is happening on YouTube and across platforms right now is a symptom of a disease on the like corporate level. This is very like in the weeds sort of, but it's something that interests me. And I was wondering if any of you guys think of, when you think of burnout and making content, do you think that you are you a subject of the are you subjugated to the platform or to your content? Because if the platform is the thing that's controlling the amount of content that you make, that can become an issue, right? So I don't know if anyone has any thoughts about that.
I want to talk. I'm glad you brought that up actually, because yes and no. So we were talking earlier about not being subject to the platform and being true to yourself and doing what you want to do, and staying true to that. But also at the same time, especially with YouTube, and that's why I say I kind of like Twitter more, or not Twitter, Twitch more, because Twitch is more of like a laid-back atmosphere. It's not like that machine that and people have mentioned or referred to YouTube as the machine, because it's like it's a numbers game, and it is. And a lot of the burnout does come, especially I know with me as a small creator and a perfectionist and all that, is because the algorithm will reward your video if it gets a certain amount of views within the first hour, if it gets a certain amount of interactions, likes, thumbs up, comments. So like I don't even take it to the first hour, I take it to the first 24 hours. Whenever I upload a video, especially one that I'm like super passionate about, the first 24 hours, I'm constantly like every hour on the hour tweeting about it, retweeting, if my followers tweet it or mention it or, say a comment that they liked it or something, I'm tweeting that out, thank you so much, everyone's saying this. I'm going to other people, because I'm a spammer, I'm not gonna lie. You were also asking about growing your channel and marketing and stuff. I'm a spammer, so I will go on other people's videos and be like, oh, great video, hey, I just uploaded one too, so come check mine out. Within the first 24 hours, I am, and that does cause burnout, because it is a machine, and if you want to get up on the top, and YouTube is so satiated with so much content, you have to hustle, and hustle really hard if you want to get seen. So, and I'm one of those hustlers, especially, again, when it comes to certain videos, and I get burned out all the time. That's why I'm just like, I'm always on a break, because I'll put out a video, and then I won't put out a video for like a month, I'm like, hey, remember that really good video I posted a month or 2 ago? Go look at that. So, yes, I do think that, in a way, if you do want to grow, it is kind of sink or swim. You have to hustle, because there's millions upon billions of hours uploaded each minute on YouTube. So if you want to be seen, you do have to hustle, and that is part of the burnout. So.
And I do want to say another thing that you mentioned earlier was about people who have full-time jobs. And I think this was like one of the questions I originally wrote. I don't know if we actually got to it, but is the idea of, are people who are making YouTube content as a full-time job really burnt out, or have they just never had a full-time job? That's the question, because I work a full-time job. I work around 50 hours a week, salaried, so it's just like, that's my salary. It doesn't matter really how much I work, that's how much I get. And I am completely burnt out. I don't have time for anything that I used to do. I barely had time to help organize this. So it's like, the question is burnout an actual, is it an actual thing, or is it just because these people have platforms that they're able to talk about something that's actually systematic throughout the entire, population of people who have jobs,
I think that's a good point. I have a friend, his name's Sean Chandler. He makes movie reviews on YouTube. He's doing pretty well right now. Just recently, like 2 days ago, he finally became a full-time YouTuber. He was delivering paint before. He's delivering paint during the day, and then at night making like movie reviews or TV reviews. Finally got to a point with his channel, now he can be full-time, and I know he's like doubling down and like almost like tripling down on his content, and he's never been happier. So it might be subjective, but in that case,
it's just fun to think about.
It is fun.
I think, and that's why I said that I think it's just a trending topic, because, again, in my opinion, the people that I've seen, I mean, I'm not too familiar. I know who Grace Helbig is, but I'm not too familiar with like how her channel is doing. But in the case of Lily Singh, and that made like a lot of news on YouTube. I feel like it was just a question of relevancy. Like if you look, I used to be a huge Lily Singh fan, but her channel's kind of dropped, so it was almost a thing of, she's not getting the views that she used to get. Before she used to average 2, 3, 4, 5 millions of views each video, but now you look at her content and she's making literally 20,000 views, 30,000 views, So that's why I said I think it was just kind of clickbait. It's kind of a trending topic where YouTubers, in my opinion, like Lily Singh, was just like, I'm burned out, I'm taking a mental health break, guys, I don't know how long it's going to be. And you look at that video and she got a couple million views on that video. So it's like, take your break, do what you're, and a lot of people were complaining about that because she didn't really take a break. She was working on her 12 collabs of Christmas. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Her 12 collabs of Christmas, with all these famous people, and she's like still like promoting all her merchandise and stuff, So, and she was saying about that earlier, the audience and your fans, they see right through that, If you're being honest with yourself and if you're being honest with your fans and you really are tired, then take your break, But if you're doing it just for clickbait and then like how she's saying, this is, and a lot of people see that, this is your only job. This is what, and you get paid millions of dollars to do this. So why are you sitting on YouTube complaining that, guys, I'm so tired, I've been putting out all these videos? Well, stop putting out videos then. Like, why are you so tired? Meanwhile, we're here struggling, working our 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, and we're hustling and bustling, and we're not complaining. We're doing it with a smile on our face, So, I mean, I do think it's a thing, and when it becomes a thing, I think it's because they're not being true to themselves, and they're trying to feed this machine that is YouTube for the views. But at the same time, when you're talking about people that it's their livelihood and that's all they do, I don't think it's really a thing, because you're in control of your own channel. You decide if you want to upload every single day or if you want to upload once a week. So you're in control.
I feel like it has a lot to do with like how bad you actually like want to do it. Like when you say you're burnt out, like are you burnt out because you weren't truly passionate about it, or are you just burnt out because you're so passionate you just gave it too much gas in the beginning and you fell off at the end? So I feel like that makes a big difference when I create your content.
I think it really depends on like each particular case on its own, because I do believe some creators that have been doing this for years, there's a point where you get overwhelmed, where the pressure can get like it's too much, because there's all these people looking at every single thing that you do, and that can really be hard on someone, and that can cause a burnout because you're so overwhelmed by all these eyes looking at you all the time that it really depends. I do believe some people probably do get on the bandwagon and just do it, but I think a lot of people just really fall under the pressure. They go so hard because they really wanted it, but they get to a point where they're like, this is not healthy for me. So I think it just really depends on the person.
Most definitely. Guys, we have to cut it off for today, but great insight from our panelists. Can we give them a quick round of applause? We appreciate you guys coming out. We're going to be hanging out for a little bit afterwards. Please come say hello. Grab a business card. They're all going to be really big, you know. Mary talked about in the last panel, if you guys were here, you know, some of us maybe just have a few thousand subscribers right now, but people that have done this panel before are 500,000 subscribers, you know, a year or two later, so keep an eye out for these guys. So thank you guys.
Also, in about 15 minutes, we're having our speed networking event. This is kind of like a fun ad hoc, it's just having fun conversations with people. So stick around for that, or take a 15-minute break and come back for it. Thank you.